Joseph Hoffmann was an Austrian architect born in 1870 in Vienna. He studied architecture at Akademie der Bildenden Kunst, which is the Academy of Fine Arts. He took classes under Karl Freiherr von Hausner and then architect Otto Wagner. He was one of the founders of the Vienna Succession, which started in 1897. The Vienna Succession was a counter-movement to the established art world. It took inspiration from Art Nouveau and the arts and crafts movement. In 1903, Hoffmann founded Wiener Werkstatt, otherwise known as the Vienna Workshops, with designer Koloman Moser and Fritz Warendorfer. It originated as a decorative art studio creating modern designs with impeccable craftsmanship, modeled after the British arts and crafts movement. They had 3 goals: establish a direct relationship between designer, craftspeople, and the public, create a style reflecting the spirit of their own time, and promote functional objects as equal to painting and sculpture. While there was no distinct design style, it often produced simple patterns and geometric designs. Hoffmann designed over 1,000 pieces of furniture and objects in addition to his architecture over the course of his career. He believed that a simply and totally planned environment would be the starting point for a happy and healthy society. He breathed the idea of Gesamtkunstwerk, German for total artwork. It describes a creative process that combines different art forms to create a single cohesive whole. Hoffmann said, "When it dawns within us, not here and there, but far and wide as the eye can see, when we begin again to surround ourselves everywhere with beauty, must we not be inspired by hope again?" As an architect, Hoffmann believed one should not limit to just the building, but rather extend beyond that to consider even the smallest items to create a true harmonious whole. The Pockersdorf Sanatorium, built between 1904 and 1905, marks a shift away from the arts and crafts inspired style of Hoffmann's earlier work, towards a simpler approach and logic that would foreshadow his future projects. The layout is made up of a highly controlled geometry and is organized symmetrically on 3 floors to the program of the building. The entrance is made up of Hoffmann's black and white tile floor, which mimics the repeated motif of squares from the exposed concrete beams on the ceiling, as well as the motif on the outside window framing. The square motif dominated his early career, earning him the nickname Quadratl Hoffmann, meaning Square Hoffmann. This entrance features an overhang made up of a steel grid and opaque glass. It is supported to the side of the building by 2 steel girders and celebrates modern technology by highlighting it right on the facade. Everything here is calculated and simple geometry. He used modern engineering and modern materials like reinforced concrete and exploited these new technologies for visual effect. This allowed for slender pillars and large unobstructed rooms that were generously lit, stripped away at the ornament and placed a large focus on function. Glass divisions made it possible to look through the entire floor. Simple harmony of the exterior was not disturbed by columns, gables, or any of the standard ornamental elements that he was accustomed to seeing. The usual ornaments around the windows were replaced by strips of blue and white tile, and the peaked roof was replaced by a flat roof without framing. After this, his work became more subtle and abstract, focusing more on functional structures and domestic products. He became known for his sharp geometries and classical proportions. Formal language is primarily characterized by strict geometrical lines, a search for simplicity, and the typical reduction to black and white. Palais Stocklet Palace, designed in 1905 to 1911, was the project that founded his international reputation. The building is made up of planar geometric forms with touches of decoration. It is covered in white Norwegian marble paired with sculpted metal to line the edges of the building geometry and windows. The central tower measures almost 65 feet in height. It is made of assembled cubic forms. The major ornamental detail on the exterior are the 4 copper statues that stand at the very top of the central tower, while the railings around the building and on the tower have some more simplistic ornamental features. The axial plan is organized with two perpendicular spaces featuring two apses on two sides of the building, breaking up the linear characteristics of the space. Landscaping in the back gardens are sculpted into geometric forms to complement the architecture. In the section, you can see the linear geometry that lines the building, and then the complemented with intentional placement of ornament to complement rather than compete with the structure. On the section, you can see the linear elements of the building are broken up by these rounded shapes. The interior of the building was meticulously detailed and designed with custom furniture, lighting, fabric, wall, and floor finishes designed by Hoffmann from start to finish. He collaborated with artists like Gustav Klimt, his friend, and commissioned a painting for the space in the dining space. His signature square and sphere elements show up in plan and elevation and design of the project. Here he succeeded in perfection, the true Gesamtkunstwerk, total work of art, reconciling art and life and aestheticizing all aspects of design. Hoffmann designed and planned everything from the building, the interiors, and the gardens down to the very last detail. Hoffmann started off his career being inspired by reform, oriented on idealistic, democratically motivated ideas. However, as his career grew, he became more interested in the production of goods at the highest artistic and handcraft level. Nonetheless, Hoffmann overcame the duality of tradition and modernity and created works that remain relevant and serve as precedents for today's designers. His timeless quality remains an inspiration and defining influence to architects, designers, and artists today.